Welcome, everybody, to Real Fun Times with the Doctor. That's me.
And Snowy, that's me.
And thank you so much for joining us, everybody.
Yes, welcome to our show.
I'm very excited about this particular pick.
I'm so amped.
Did you throw this in?
No, you did.
I'm
we talked
a
about
genius.
it. You did, and then you were like, scoop. You Kobe'd it and just said, boop.
But before we get much further, Snowy, are you ready for your real fun fact?
Oh, I am. Yes.
Today's real fun fact. So on this day, April 9th, 1830, English-born pioneer Edward James Muybridge.
I was just thinking about him. Weird.
He was a pioneer in motion photography. So his photographic studies of animal motion laid the foundation for modern motion pictures. He is the reason we are here today.
That's crazy. That's a really fun fact. I love that.
Please hold. Check this out.
Okay.
He was hired by Leland Stanford to determine if a horse ever lifts all four hooves from the ground while galloping. Muybridge's work proved that they... What do you think? They did.
Yeah, I feel like that's a weird thing to wonder about. Like look
it
at
was
horses.
In the 1800s.
Could they not just look at a horse and see?
Not Nintendo. He proved that they did, though this occurs only when the feet are beneath the body and not when the fore and hind limbs are extended, as sometimes depicted in older paintings. As a result, the famous French sculptor Auguste Rodin responded to the contradiction of how horses are portrayed in artwork as opposed to how they actually gallop by saying, "It is the artist who is truthful, and it is photography that lies. For in reality, time does not stop." And that's your real fun fact for today.
That is such a fun fact. I love that.
I really enjoyed it when I stumbled upon it.
Yeah, I bet. For sure.
And that spelling of his name is so jacked up. When the first paragraph was like English born, I was like, oh, okay, because here's how they spelled Edward.
Mm-hmm.
Eadweard. What? It's like, that's British as fuck. Edward. You know what we should head into? Live watch intro.
Tonight's movie is the 1995 NC-17 film, Showgirls. Nomi, a young drifter, arrives in Las Vegas to become a dancer and soon sets about clawing and pushing her way to become the top of the Vegas showgirls.
Ooh, Nomi, eh?
Nomi, yep.
Yeah, you don't know me.
I hate you so much right now. I cannot. You're the worst. Press play. This was your first of all, I just want to say, this was your first viewing of the movie.
Yes.
You've never seen it before.
I was the newbie.
This is probably like my fourth or fifth time seeing it. And it had been like a hot minute since I'd seen it.
Yeah.
But like,
when was the last time?
Oof.
That you saw old Gina.
Oh, my Gina. Maybe 7 or 8 years ago.
Okay,
so it's been a while.
Absolutely. Now, did you view that with friends as a fun time?
Oh no, I hid in my shame. I hid in my shame, and I did not.
I'm all about hiding your shame.
Yeah. And honestly, and probably the first couple times I watched it, like one, I didn't come out until later in life,
right?
And I felt like just by if I was like, oh, this weekend I watched Showgirls alone. I just didn't think that was like a
good proclamation,
a good thing a good Southern girl should do.
Snowy?
So yeah, every time I watched it alone. Then I was like, if someone asked, in polite conversation, if it came up, it was like, yes, that movie was just the worst.
Crazy
in my head.
Yeah. Well, we have no shame anymore.
As a society or as people?
No, for this film.
Oh, I was like, I have plenty of shame.
I have all the shame. But I don't think we need to be ashamed for Showgirls.
No, absolutely not.
I had a hell of a ride.
This I said it throughout the entire live watch. I wish that I'd had a camera just pointed directly at you because your reactions were so genuine. They were so hilarious. They were so outlet. Just, oh my God, your reactions to this fucking movie. It was everything.
I
It
had
elevated my experience like tenfold.
That's great to hear because I had a fantastic live watch. One of the tippy tops. But before we go much further, Snowy, we should probably head into your previews. And I'm willing to bet you dug up some gems for us.
The preview song. The preview song. Let's get into the previews.
Yay! My favorite part of the episode.
All right. I told you before we start, I've got 6 pages of notes on this fucking movie.
You did your due diligence.
I did. All right. So this movie came out in 1995. It was the widest released NC-17 movie ever.
Now, tell me a little bit, if you know, NC-17, when did that come around? Ratings started after Indiana Jones. I think that was the big well-known. It was so scary for kids, couldn't handle it, the face melting, and they decided, oh, we should probably figure this stuff out. NC-17, it was like a myth to me as a child. Like I knew what it was, but I could never.
I assumed as a kid, like NC-17, like it's pretty much it's porn.
Pornography.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
well, they're not.
And I was like, sign me up. Where are these NC-17s at?
If this movie's any indication.
Do I have to go behind like a wall and rent it in Blockbuster? Because I will.
I totally will too. Here's the thing. I like my pornography with a little story. So
I think that's
as
a female
lady,
thing. I feel like that's a female thing. Because like don't just come in and say you've got a pizza
don't
and
hammer at home.
Don't like give me a little bit of background.
A little finesse.
And that's honest. That's like me in any movie. I'm like, you just give me that 5 extra minutes. It's going to make so much more sense to me.
Very lenient.
I'm going to be so much more into it.
You're very open-minded. Me less so. But, oh boy. What did we find out about this?
Okay. So, NC-17. So it was the most widely released, I believe, it was released in 1,388 theaters. And even since then, blue is the warmest color. I'm not sure if you've seen that movie or not.
I haven't.
It came out in the early 2000s, I believe. Even that, which was met with a ton of critical acclaim. It was an NC-17 movie. I love that movie. I think it's fantastic. I believe it's French.
1,000 theaters doesn't sound like a lot. Is that a big number?
For an NC-17, yes, that's a huge. That's yeah, and like I said, nothing has been that widely released in the theaters since Showgirls.
Really?
Yeah,
Showgirls is the stamp.
Yes, it's the standard, if you will.
Wow.
So on IMDb, this movie got a 4.9 out of 10 stars. Metacritic, 16 Metascore.
Ooh.
29 user rating.
Oof.
Rotten Tomatoes, we got 23% on the tomato meter, 37% audience score. So it all the way around, it's not
Took
really
a hit.
It really did.
Took a hit.
But it's funny because this movie, it when it first came out, everybody just shit all over this movie.
It's an easy.
I get
low
why.
hanging fruit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not fighting it.
But
I'm
gonna say those ratings seem a little low.
Even for
me.
now, because now over like 26 years later, it's achieved such cult classic status. And,
I would imagine.
And people are like, oh, it's satire. It was not written as satire. Believe you me.
Outside of the nudity, I would totes put this on a regular rotation with my buddies. Like, it's showgirl time.
Yeah. And we'll laugh and have a great time.
So much fun.
Yeah, I would do that. But. All right. This was starring Elizabeth Berkley, who we all know is Jessie Spano from Saved by the Bell.
Oh, Jessie.
I'm so excited. I'm so scared. So Saved by the Bell ended in 1992. All right.
So that was the college years?
Well,
or just the high school version?
I believe she was not in the college years.
You're right.
She wasn't in the college years. However, the Saved by the Bell Las Vegas Wedding came out in 94.
Okay.
This came out in 95.
Was she in Vegas Wedding?
She was in Vegas Wedding.
We need to rewatch that.
She was only 20 when she filmed this.
20?
I thought she was a little bit older than that. Turns out she was 20.
Oh,
right.
That makes me a little uncomfortable. I thought she was maybe 25, 26.
Yeah, I did too. So obviously this lambasted her career. Like this just totally destroyed her
Crushed it,
career.
yeah.
Her agent dropped her after he saw the movie. Um,
Undeserved.
but the director Peter, I'm sorry, not Peter, Paul Verhoeven. That's what we're gonna go with,
We're
Verhoeven.
gonna go with Verhoeven.
And the writer Joe Esterhaus.
Mhm.
Paul would not let them deviate from the script. He was like, "You have to. This is I." They ended up something like over 50 strippers in Las Vegas. They interviewed prior to this, and they were like, "Everything we're telling you, like we're pretty much getting from them." So we like
Well, that's a neat
you
approach.
have to like you can't deviate from the script. You can't ad lib. You can't. The only two things she ad libbed in the movie, which I'll get to later.
Well, this
Um,
this says a lot more for her then. This
well,
really wasn't her
Well,
fault.
right, exactly, and so the director, we're gonna call him Paul because I'm not gonna fuck with that last name anymore.
Look,
Our boy
one try and
Paul,
you got
our boy Paul,
it.
he has said, jumping to her defense, he's like, she acted the way I told her to act it. This is
Mhm.
not her fault. Like she did everything that it was asked of her in this role.
Now I
Um,
feel bad for Jessie.
right, but since then, I mean, she has done stuff. She's been on the L Word, First Wives
She was in
Club.
the L Word?
She was, and
No.
she was in a recurring character, but in the last season she had a bit role. But she always, it's
Last
funny,
season
uh,
before this last season? Before the
of the
resurrection?
original, before the original L Word.
Okay, so it's been a minute.
Yeah,
I'd have
she
to
was
rewatch to
Bet's
catch her.
college roommate, and then she tried to seduce Bet. What's funny is I feel like everything that she plays a bit role
You
in,
right.
everything she plays a bit role in, she always kind of plays that homewrecker. I mean that in First Wives Club, in Any Given Sunday, Black Widow, Last Call. I mean, it's always kind of the same like homewrecker role.
She's
Um,
gonna
yeah.
typecast now.
20 years later, though, there was a big thing a few years ago for the 20-year anniversary. And she said that she's finally come to terms with it and she can now, and like she was so embarrassed by it and so just horrified by the movie for so long that now she can actually, because the fans of the movie now have been so generous with like their love for it, that
Supporting
she can,
her.
yeah, and that she can finally come to terms and peace with it,
I
which is
like
great.
that a lot because she shouldn't have been blamed for this. Her career completely died and shouldn't have.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm not gonna say she was the greatest actor on Saved by the Bell, but I think that her career could have gone a little further than
I think it could have too.
if this hadn't
Yeah.
occurred. So good for her that now she's embracing it.
So we've got Kyle McLaughlin, my boy.
Oh, you're a big fan.
I'm such a big Kyle McLaughlin fan. Dune, Blue Velvet, Twin Peaks. I mean, I am a disciple of David Lynch, so I love all these movies, love everything. Sex in the City, Agents of Shield. He had a recurring role, which I did not realize.
I didn't
Um,
watch that one.
I didn't either. Portlandia. He was in the movie.
Portlandia,
He was the mayor,
in that, and he was great.
hilarious.
You know, that's maybe where I started warming up on him because I
Mm.
didn't know him from a lot of the other stuff you've seen him on, except for Sex in the City, where I was like, nah, I don't like
Dr.
that
Trey
character.
McDougal.
Yeah,
But he
McDougal?
nailed the role though. Like he did a great job in the role.
No, he's a
He was
good
very
actor.
unlikable in the character, but he was.
He's a fine and upstanding citizen.
Did you ever speak poorly of my
But
Kyle
in
McLaughlin?
Portlandia is where I started making the turn.
Yeah. Most recently, I mean, he's been in the movie Tesla, Capone, and then this past year played FDR in something called Atlantic Crossing. I guess it was a series.
Cool. I like
Um,
me some FDR.
Same. Gina Gershon,
Wow,
my
please, no.
probably my
Are you gonna be able to
longest.
make it through this episode?
I don't know. I might have to excuse myself.
Your
I don't
love
know.
is true.
It
Your
is.
love is true.
I have loved her since this movie. She got her start, I think, in like the early '80s. She was like an uncredited dancer on like Beatlemania or something.
Okay.
Um, she did a ton in like the '80s and '90s, and then she had the movie Bound with Jennifer Tilly, and Showgirls come out the same year. And Bound's another like kind of like sapphic, not that great of a movie, and I think it kind of hurt her career some, but
I
she's
see.
worked steadily since.
Mhm.
And actually, it's kind of funny. I realized in the past few years she's done several stints as like Melania Trump, which is I would
What?
like to see. I've
Yes.
seen pictures.
We gotta look that
I've
up.
seen pictures and like she kind of nails the look. But I mean, Melrose Place, Face Off, Bound. She was in Cocktail.
Face Off,
Mhm.
one of my faves.
She had a recurring role in Rescue Me, Z Nation.
Loved
She was in
Rescue Me.
Staten Island Summer, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and she had a pretty
Love
big
Brooklyn
role
Nine-Nine. I wonder
on
if she was on that.
it was just a couple episode arc. And then she was on the show Red Oaks, which is actually, I think it was an Amazon show. It
Okay.
was like set in the 80s, and like this kid works at this like snotty club, and it's actually a pretty fun little show. And I wanted to tell you this. The guy, the director, I'm surprised. Do you know who he is?
What's the name again?
Paul Verhoeven.
Oh, Verhoeven. No, I don't know Verhoeven.
Well, you do, because one of your precious movies he directed.
my precious.
Your precious. Starship Troopers.
Get out of town.
And lastly, I want to talk about Glenn Plummer, who plays James, who I didn't know his name. I referred to him as Bob Fossie. He was the dancer. He was the one that,
yes.
Okay. And you said, you're like, he's a guy. And I was like, pish posh, you're dumb. No, he's not.
I get that a lot, guys.
I'm dumb. He's
A
been
pish
in like
posh on you.
150 different things.
I knew that guy. I fucking knew it.
He has been on Dexter, ER, 911.
Yep.
He was in Saw 2, Day After Tomorrow, the show The Corner, Strange Days, The Substitute, A House Divided, most recently Asbury Park. He has been in a ton of stuff over the years. Now, has he had a lot of like major
success?
Not necessarily, but he has worked steadily since
career.
before this movie, and I mean up until this year he had a movie come out. So I mean he
Good
has
for him.
exactly
Yeah.
yes, he was also in Showgirls too. We'll talk about that later.
Oh boy, will we? Have you
Um,
seen it?
Oh God, no! And after seeing the previews for it, there's no part of me that ever wants any part of that movie.
Oh, we might have to put it in.
We might, but I think we're gonna regret. I think it might be one of those like
one too
regrettable.
far. One too far.
So I've got some more information about other people that like we'll talk about as as it progresses.
Mhm.
One thing, so let's talk about what this movie brought as far as sales.
Yes.
It cost about $47 million to make. They had a $47 million budget.
That's not bad considering Vegas, no?
Well, only a very small part of it was shot in Vegas. Very, very small part.
Smart.
So the budget was about $47 million. Elizabeth Berkley only got paid $100,000 for the role.
Get out.
Which is infuriating.
And it ruined her career? That's a blow.
And then you've got a budget's $47 million. The director, he got paid something like $6 million, which he actually ended up giving up like 70% of his salary to try to help make the movie money.
Oh, okay.
Because it only did about like $20 million at the box office.
20.
However, since it has rose to
cult status,
it has done over $100 million in at-home sales.
Wow! Now does she get a penny of that?
I don't know. It depends on what her contract says.
Elizabeth, reach out to us. We'd love to know. You can reach us at Real Fun Time.
realfuntimespodcast@gmail.com.
REEL
FUNTIMES.
Beautiful.
Those
were excellent previews.
Thank you.
Of all.
Thank
and
you so
I can't
much.
wait for the rest of the info throughout the episode.
I
but
can't
you're
wait
right.
to share.
We got to head on to our first clip.
Yep.
What's that about?
So in our very first clip, we meet Nomi. That's our Elizabeth Berkley character. She is hitchhiking. She gets a ride by a guy in a truck who kind of looks like a poor man's Elvis.
Big time.
He's going to Vegas. She immediately pretty much pulls a knife on him.
But then they become best friends.
Like, are they besties? Did they go to high school together? We're not sure. And we call this clip thumbtacking.
MGM. Hey now.
Classy.
It's serious. 95, you say?
Yeah.
Okay. So is this right after the end of Saved by the Bell?
Not long after, no.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she wanted to like branch out and like
she really wanted to
show
shatter
people
that
what
image.
she could do. Yep.
Her range. Ooh, well, let us see. I'm here for it. Oh, wow, that takes you back.
I almost feel like she got her lips done for this movie.
Yeah?
Like Josie Spano did not have lips like that.
Mighty tight, mighty, I don't love them. I don't like that cut. I don't like that color. I do like that jacket.
Do you?
That. Uh-oh. I don't know.
I love how trepidatious she looks. Like, bitch, you're the one who's like, I almost said hijacking, but what is it?
um,
Thumbtacking.
so close.
Yep.
Not street
Hitching a
walking,
ride,
hitchhiking. We got there.
Oh.
Shit. Oh yeah, she's got some attitude. He's got a very Elvis look.
Oh yeah. He's probably going to be a impersonator.
His fucking collar's poppity pop.
Oh
Jesus!
shit!
Wow. I don't like the energy in this car.
He's real chatty.
He's annoying.
What are you going to Vegas for? You gonna win?
I'm gonna dance with somebody.
Escort dance?
He said,
Whoa, now you guys are acting like your best friends.
yeah, old buddies. Jeff from high school?
Thank God you picked me up on this lonesome road.
Lonesome road.
Elvis. I didn't like him from the start.
No, he was sketchy.
He was real greasy. Like, just too suave, too...
I don't like people who are too familial from the jump.
Mm-hmm.
In movies, in real life, if you act like you know me from the very beginning, I don't care for that shit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, he was friendly, and she wasn't. Right
No.
away, what did she do?
She pulled her knife.
A little, what are those called? Switchblades?
Mm-hmm.
Then he got real angry. He was like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to get stuck
And
like a
then-
pig for helping out a buddy or...
Then she
something
takes
weird.
control of the wheel and swerving McSwerverton. They almost hit a Mack truck.
She's just got a lot of attitude from the
Mhm.
jump. She's walking strong and hitching hard and...
Yeah, you will find she
Riding
walks real
long.
angrily.
Because it wasn't a short little trip. It wasn't like Vegas, 32 miles.
Yeah.
It was 350 miles. That's a 4-hour car drive with
That's a
somebody
long-
that you don't fucking know.
Yeah. That's-
It would be so awkward on a level that I would be like, can you let me have I changed my mind? I don't like a road trip with some of my very best pals, to be honest, sometimes.
yeah.
I do like a road trip here and there, but it's got to be the right circumstance.
Mhm.
Can't just jump in a rando's truck and be like, whoosh.
Next time we go on a trip, I'm gonna fucking bust out a knife and be like, "Look, I know I'm driving, but listen here." They get to Vegas, bright lights, big city. He gives her $10. He says he's going to see his uncle,
That's right.
and
Go have fun in the casino.
here's
I'm gonna
$10.
go find
You
my
win. We
uncle.
splitsies.
Be right back. So she's in the casino having a great time.
Yeah, she ends up winning.
Winning, and just the slots. It's the big lights. Just having a grand time. And decides, well, but got to go back to Bestie, to Elvis Bestie. And
She gets concerned. She hasn't seen him in a while, and then all of a sudden she's like,
let's go check him. Let's go check him out. And she goes to the parking lot, and
his car's gone.
he's gone.
And then she loses her mind.
Now, I was a little bit confused about this during the initial live watch and wondered, was she super drunk?
I don't think so. I think that's just her.
She runs into the parking lot, realizes he's not there, and starts having like a freak out, flip out, slamming into the cars beside her, and then yelling. And this is where we meet
Her Molly.
second bestie. Man, this girl makes best friends left and right.
Left and right, yeah.
Molly's like, yo, that's my car. What the fuck are you doing? And she's thrashing about. Then she pukes. So yeah, when she vomits and then just stumbles into the traffic, I just assumed something weird had happened. She's either drunk or under the influence.
And honestly, that could have been a cut scene that we were not privy to, that they just didn't. But this is where we meet. So we meet Molly here, played by Gina Rivera.
Molly's the kindest soul in all of Vegas.
She is 100% the best person in this movie.
Vegas does not deserve Molly.
No, not at all.
Not this Molly.
So perhaps we should go to our next live watch clip, which we're calling the Vegas Experience.
Experience.
My notes say Drea points and laughs.
I'm sorry.
Noelle loves Gina. Kyle Mclaughlin. Drea predictions. Gina said, "You're a hoe."
You want to hear some of mine?
Yeah.
I've got, she should have let you die. Vegas is awesome. Snowy wants some Gina. What the fuck
Like,
is
she's
her
being
problem?
so nice to you.
Yeah,
Like, you're
dude.
a dumb bitch.
First of all, she saved your life.
Yeah. I would have let you fucking die and
You
not
were
thought twice about it.
fucking up her car for no reason.
Yeah.
You can stay with me if you need a place to crash.
What? She's crazy.
Yeah.
6 weeks later?
Fucking-
Unbelievable.
Now they're biffles.
They're great.
Are they?
It looks like some nails that Jim and the Holograms would have had in the 80s. Like,
They seem very...
I feel like in another version, they totally fucked.
They fucked a lot. They
Yeah.
fucked that night. They fucked every night in the 6 weeks.
I,
What am I gonna wear?
What does Nomi do now?
Wear the dress that I made last week.
we don't know yet.
The fringe one?
Oh, I know what they do.
You, I need Molly.
I need Molly. Me too. You can just shout that and people bring it to you?
I guess.
I love Vegas.
Vegas is
We're
everything.
going tomorrow.
It's terrible to me.
Oh, Miss Connors is very popular.
There she is.
Wow. Ooh. Pyrotechnics.
Very sassy.
I would definitely watch this at a Vegas show.
Yeah?
Absolutely. It's hysterical.
I feel, but you'd be laughing the whole time, and I
Out
don't
loud
think
and
that's what they're
pointing.
going for. I don't think that folks, they'd probably be like, "Excuse me, man, you gotta leave." There she is.
Oh my.
Ugh.
Is that,
It's a
is
very-
that working for you?
Very big fan of Gina Gershon in this movie.
Oh wow, everyone's disrobing.
Yeah. She's supposed to be like the queen of the fucking showgirls.
Wow.
Yeah, it could never take you to that kind of Vegas show.
I can't take this. Oh wow. This is a gym. Oh.
Miss Connors, how old are you? Fucking rude.
Right? Oh my god, that's your homie.
Yeah, it's Kyle Mclaughlin.
That hair.
Yeah.
So nice. Oh, rude. Oh, I like that dress. The way it...
The little fringe.
Yeah.
She's supposedly like made that dress. The roommate.
This top is way too tight. My breasts are
Oh,
just getting
that's the
crushed.
Molly they
I can lose
needed.
this weight. Thanks, darling.
Oh boy.
You're welcome.
It's a lot of free nakedness around here.
There for it.
What is she doing?
You guys, the not too sad. I just love
Okay,
you.
relax.
Oh, it's not dancing. I know that much.
Oh shit, that's uncalled for. Yeah, girl, standing up for herself.
I'm really sorry, Miss Jack.
Like, I know girls like Nomi. I've met them in my life, and they're pieces of shit.
Yeah,
Like,
completely self-centered, complete user. Just
I think I used to have those earrings, though.
she's gone way above and beyond for that girl
Yeah.
since they met.
Molly says, "Come to work with me. Like, show off." So Nomi does nails. She does these, like, hooker 90s nails. They're,
Very
you know,
fancy.
it's not my style. I don't care for that at all. But she's like, "Show off your nails. Wear this dress, and look like a skank, and it'll be a great time." So she goes, and Nomi is this is her dream. Right?
Yes.
This is Wonderland. To
Why
her.
she came to Vegas.
Mhm. We meet Gina Gershon. And the guy that he makes the comment like he kind of introduces Gina
Mhm.
after, and he's like, Cristal's everything that Vegas is. And I was like, was that guy in The Sopranos? He was not, but it's an actor named Al Ruscio. He was in The Godfather 3.
Okay.
And that's why I got that.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, he's in the very like mobby.
Something. Now, I have a question
Okay.
that this clip brought up. Nomi's in the film supposed to be early 20s.
Yeah.
And so how old is Gina supposed to be? Like late 20s?
No, I think like mid 30s.
Okay.
So,
she's kind of at the end.
And I hate to say this, but like aging out in
she's
in
kind
that
of at
world.
the end of her
Mhm.
Vegas life.
And I think they're trying to make that clear by the very
That's why she's so
crass
desperate.
question of how
Mhm.
old are you, Miss Connors?
Sure.
Um,
Because she has an energy in this that's confusing. I felt like she was really into Nomi, but I'm starting to feel like what's happening is she's seeing her star fade and wants to control who's next.
hmm That's fair. So I've got a couple fun facts for you. One, Gina Gershon was not supposed to talk in that Texas accent. They were like, we don't want this person, even though she's supposed to be from Texas in the movie.
But no accent.
And so she went around apparently on set all day just talking in this accent and was like, this is how I speak. And like
Good for you, Gina.
and she said now like
Making
she
it
regrets
happen.
it and she'd love to go back and like re-record her lines because she finds it really embarrassing.
Sure.
Also, let's talk about who auditioned for these roles.
Oh, let's.
They desperately wanted the part of Cristal, Gina Gershon, to be played by Madonna.
You know, though, not a terrible pick. That would have worked in a whole different level.
way. Yeah. And someone, I think even the guy that wrote this, said he was like, had it been Madonna,
It
we
would
would
have
have
been
had
a
a
hit.
hit.
Now, I don't know about that.
No.
But do you think they even proposed it to Madonna? Did she shoot them down?
She did.
Okay.
She did. Also Sharon
She
Stone.
would have been fairly popular at this point.
Yeah.
I think Madonna started at this kind of part of her
mid-90s,
career
yeah.
starting
She
to
was like
dwindle,
off of
but
the
90s, she's coming strong.
yeah, she had some great albums in the 90s.
Coming strong. That's probably not.
Mhm.
I don't want to be a judge. I just don't want to know.
Sharon Stone was suggested for the role.
Sure.
Daryl Hannah.
Yes.
Sean Young.
I don't know Sean Young.
You do, but I can't think of any of
The things I would know her from.
Yeah. And then for the role of Nomi, it was initially given and rejected by Drew Barrymore.
No, that's not the right fit.
No.
This would have been a comedy. Intentionally.
Can you imagine her and
Drew.
her
Yeah.
sweet little face being like, fuck off. Yeah, like, I love to dance. I do what I want.
Drew Barrymore in the pool scene.
Oh my God.
Anyone in that pool scene. I cannot wait to get there.
Other people that were considered for the role of Nomi: Pamela Anderson, Angelina Jolie, Denise
Oh.
Richards, who went on to star in Starship Troopers.
That would fit.
One of the, Paul's other movies. And Charlize Theron, who later on ended up firing her agent for even suggesting that she star in that kind of movie because it's not the route she wanted to go.
Go ahead, Charlize.
Right? Right?
What an interesting way this could have gone
Yes.
with any of those pairings.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you hear about that kind of thing. Just like, I think, what was it? Like John Travolta was considered for the role like Forrest Gump. Like, could you imagine?
Travolta?
Yeah, could you imagine?
Completely different movie.
Yeah. And I think maybe like,
Amazing.
I could be wrong, but I think Mel Gibson was another choice for that. Like, could you
Boy.
imagine those people? Like, casting is so important. And
yeah, it's key.
and sometimes like really happy mistakes are made when people can't,
That's true too. That's true too.
So Nomi storms off. She's pissed that Cristal.
She got dissed by her
Mhm.
big idol.
And then Molly's like, yo, you can't.
Molly's been the best friend to
This,
all of Vegas. People don't really
skank.
treat her well.
And we find out that Jesse Spano has to go to work. But she's like, I'm not going to go to work tonight. And
I
she
had
decides,
questions early on. I was like, what is Jesse? Because 6 weeks later is where we were
Mhm.
reintroduced into the story. I'm like, well, what does Jesse do?
So they decide they're going to go dance it out.
Now, what's your favorite dancing out your anger scene? I can tell you mine.
I think when she and James go back to his house for the private, I think that scene to me is so
that
hilarious.
scene is gold.
And she's like, yeah, yeah, and
Wait,
just
slow
so
down.
aggressive jazz hands.
She is so aggressive with her movements throughout the film. I
Mhm.
don't know what direction she got. Like stronger, sharper, angrier,
angry.
angrier. But while you're correct, I was thinking, because I'm an idiot, Footloose.
Oh,
That's my favorite, all-time
God, yeah.
favorite angry dance.
Actually, you know what? I think mine might be.
Drinking all angry and smoking all angry.
I don't know if you can call it angry. I think it's just dancing out their emotions. Is Hugh Grant in Love Actually to the Pointer Sisters when he's the prime minister
Oh yeah.
and he's like, you know what? He just starts to feel it. I think it's so funny.
That's pretty good.
Which actually, you know, he hates that scene. That was
Of
he hated
course
having
he
to do that
does.
scene.
He shouldn't, but
That
it's very
seems
Hugh
amazing.
Granty.
And I celebrate the Pointer Sisters' entire catalog. I love the Pointer Sisters. They are my favorite. Come at me, bro.
No one's gonna come
I
at
love
you.
how the microphone like it was an audience.
Whoa.
Like,
Whoa, Blue. That's our boy Blue.
she meets James in the club, right? She meets James in the club. He says, "You can dance," and she's like, "Yeah, I know." And then she ends up getting him into a fight with somebody, and then he loses his
He's
job.
at work.
Yeah, he's like a bouncer.
And his boss is like, because he's walking off talking to her, he's like, go
Your
get the
job.
car or whatever. And
Yeah.
he's like, fuck you don't tell me. Like,
Yeah, so they're all kicked out. And then we end up going to the strip club where Nomi works. The owner, total prick.
such a piece of shit.
And that is played by Robert Davey.
He's a guy, right?
Oh, he's 100% a guy.
He's in shitloads.
Goonies, Die Hard, License to Kill, Expendables 3. Most recently, Roe v. Wade. He was in Stargate Atlantis. Tons and tons of 80s TV. Like, I feel like it was a TV show in the 80s. Like, he's like, I got a bit role in this.
His face is so memorable.
He also did some voice work for the Grand Theft Auto series.
I love Grand Theft Auto. I probably have heard him there. Awesome.
We find out he's a total asshole. We meet this chick named Penny.
We meet her dance friends, which they're all very colorful.
Oh wow, that is a way to put it. And we hear some real rough stand up by one of the, I wouldn't call her a stripper, but
She was an entertainer, and
look at you.
And her style was like self-hating, like woman bashing, like just give the men the raucous gross stuff.
Yeah, it was
that they
not
want
my brand of humor.
at your own expense. And she owned it. Not my brand at all, but she fucking went out there and owned it in her own way. Wow. Wow.
But Cristal and Zach, played by Kyle Mclaughlin, who are a couple, they show up at the Cheetah where Nomi works to see her.
They want to see her dance.
And we call this next clip lap dance.
Oh, Jesse. She's on all the caffeine pills.
Yeah. She specifically came to see her.
Even though she was like, I don't want to. That's not real. That's not a real club.
Yeah.
Whoa. Jesse. She's doing all right. Ew. You could pay me enough money to lick that thing. I guess I shouldn't go to Vegas now. I thought I was ready.
Well, there's certain things we're just not going to do in Vegas.
I thought I was ready, but
certain things you're not going to do. Maybe I'll do them, but
I'll be night.
is she smoking a Black and Mild?
Oh my goodness, that's a lot.
NC-17.
I see now. You were right about that. That does look like a Black and Mild. Is that?
I'm pretty sure that was her vagina. That's right.
Don't fucking hit me.
Yeah. Like, she's just so jerky with all of her
so
movements.
aggressive with her movements.
Oh, shit.
Fuck you. How old do you think she was here? She's got a banging body.
Yeah, I mean,
she
like,
was like 20s.
early 20s, probably, yeah.
This ruined her career, though.
It did. But I think she was
unfairly, though.
She was under the impression that it was going to help her career.
I don't know that it was justified. I think she just went so hardcore against type.
And she was trying to break out of that mold, but it did her less favors than she...
She went too hard.
Yeah.
She jerked too hard. No. Trouble. No women? That
fucking
doesn't seem right.
Sexist.
Right? Equal opportunity. Oh, boy, yeah. He's into it. He's like, sip, sip, sip.
And this is like a really shitty strip club. There are really good strip clubs in Las Vegas. Like,
there's gotta be some really amazing strip clubs.
Yeah. It's like Atlanta. Like, the strip clubs in Atlanta are like Sodom and Gomorrah. They are fucking insane.
Anything goes?
Kind of.
Wow. I would turn into a pillar of salt.
Well done.
Deep cut. Wow, what are these places like? I'm so curious. Is this it? The back room? Oh, she's naked. I'm scared.
She's naked. Young Kyle Mclaughlin, so handsome.
You're into it, but I'm not. I'm not into him. As a person, great, but as a good-looking gentleman,
like,
not doing it for me at all.
Such like a crush. Like, I don't want to see his penis, but like, they tell you I used to have a long nail in college, long pinky nail.
I know about your coke nails.
Okay.
You didn't know about your coke nails. That's the funny part.
Yeah, I didn't know about my coke nail.
Sorry.
This is just, I mean, she is just...
She went for it. Wow. Like this.
And fucking Gina Gershon's fucking loving it.
Oh, she's really touching him.
She said, I can touch you, you can't touch me.
She is super into it. Her dress is interesting. Do you think that's a medal?
Yes, I do.
Right? It looks like chainmail-y.
I feel like people had those in college, going into their dorm rooms.
Absolutely. I've been through several of those doors.
I 100% have. It's a classy joint. That's right.
Oh, boy. I'm very uncomfortable, Jesse. No, I didn't need to. There's a lot.
Oh, is she looking at her boob? Yeah.
Oh my God! I'm watching a. Oh my goodness! You really went for it. I'm bored. Is this what happens at a strip club? I will never go.
Some strip clubs that happens.
I can't handle that kind of action. What?
I mean,
Amazing. I might need to go because that's fantastic. Amazing.
do you realize what he just did?
Oh, how could you not realize what he just did? My goodness.
Like, he just...
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive work, though.
Gross, the way he moved his hair out. Just needs to lick his finger afterwards.
Ugh.
I mean, she put in the work. That's for damn
She 100% did.
I've never had that kind of a relationship.
No, and I'm way too jealous a person.
For sure. I couldn't just have sat there like gyrating all excited about it.
Yeah.
These girlfriends are real friendly with each other, right?
You act like somebody died.
Me, a little inside. All right.
Wow.
So I think
Is
we
this
s-
accurate?
Mm.
This scene, do
okay.
you think?
I think in some strip clubs, yes.
The Sodom and Gomorrah ones?
Um, that are ones where it's just not.
Rules are a little less
Yeah, it's
because
and then
really,
you
isn't
have
there
ones.
concern for the safety of the dance? Isn't that the big
Yes, that's
reason why they don't allow a lot of
yes, and like you can't touch them, they can touch you, but they're supposed to touch you obviously in like limited amounts. Um,
right?
they're not, you know.
There are
Uh,
supposed to be limits.
yeah. And I've been to strip clubs where
I
they
was going
like
to ask you about these really nice ones you've been to. Like this one is kind of dingy.
yes,
But
it's
what's like
shady.
the nicest one? What made it nice? Was it like
I
just
felt very,
good
very safe. There was
music,
tons of
lighting?
security. I mean, your lighting is like, I mean, it's going to be really dim in there. It was like super, like it's like oversized, like good, like
Perfect for
good,
me.
comfortable chairs. And because
Dun-dun-dun-dee.
the whole thing is like, you know, you're focusing on the girls on the stage and the girls that are walking around.
Gotcha.
Like
Now, is there food at strip
some
clubs?
strip clubs do have food. Some of them have like some of them have buffets. There's one in town that actually that I believe has a buffet. You don't want to go and get a buffet at the strip club? You don't want to do that? I mean,
I.
um,
Oh Lord,
I will
boys
never
are
forget
weird.
being in a strip club, and I was sitting in the back. This is like back when I was a smoker. Like this is like, I mean,
It's been a
God,
while.
it's like 15 years ago
I
or
was there
so.
too. Yeah.
And you can still smoke inside in North Carolina.
Right. It has been a
And
minute.
I was sitting, and it was kind of like the end of the night, and everybody's like, you know, everybody go to the stage and make it rain, you know, whatever. And I'm kind of sitting in the back smoking, just you know, in my chair, and my friends had gone up, and I was like, I'm good. And I remember
Taking it in.
this one stripper comes up to me, and I just feel this like aggressive tap on my shoulder, and I was like, hello. And she goes, honey, I thought I had the biggest boobs in here. Turns out you do. You look good. And walks away. I was like, thanks, girl.
That makes you feel good.
Yeah. I was like, all right, cool. It was just very funny and like very unexpected. Like, but yeah, I mean, like I've been to some
So, are
really
they spacious? Would you say?
some of them are like the nice ones again, like they are like there's mad security, like I mean I'm talking there's security like by the bathrooms. Usually you got some sort of like concierge like in the bathrooms.
Now, is there a typical dress style for the participant? Like a jeans and t-shirt type of deal, or a more like suit?
The nice ones that I've been to, you've got to, I'd say
You kind of
at
have to dress up
least
a little.
you at least have to be business casual.
Okay.
Like at the very, I mean, like I think most of the time, like you know, guys are expected to wear like a collared shirt. Like women, like you're not
That's
going in there,
interesting.
and
I
like
don't
you
know
may
anything
have.
about this.
I've never worn except for I was in college, went to like shitty strip clubs.
Sure.
I've never worn jeans to a strip club. I mean, I've
Gotcha.
always dressed up like
Gotcha.
to go.
Gotcha. Well, there
that's-
goes my shot.
Why don't you
I
borrow
could have
some?
made it.
Um,
I was gonna be the next Nomi, but they were like, no jeans.
What do you mean, no jeans?
I'm out. So Nomi, she's doing her thing. What's her butt? Gina and her boyfriend Kyle show up, and they decide Gina's been fucking with Nomi since minute one, and I feel like Nomi's not the only one. I feel like Gina will fuck with anybody that's around for
She
any
thinks it's an easy
reason.
target.
Like she's just loves to have a plaything,
Mm-hmm.
and she's like a cat.
Well, even at the very end of it, you know, like Kyle Mclaughlin says to her, "You're such a bitch."
Yeah, and she's like, "You still love me."
And it's so funny. So, for those of you if you haven't seen the film, Nomi gives him a quite a lap dance.
Wow, to
Quite-
completion.
Yeah. And I'm staring at Dre and I'm like, you know what happened, right? Like and she's like, I fucking get it. I know what happened.
I've never been to a strip club, but I completely understand what happened.
One of the things that Elizabeth Berkley ad-libbed was it was her idea to lick the pole.
Oh,
When you hear the doctor just go, "Ugh," like she is so repulsed, it's because she licked the pole and
oof.
she was.
I'm sure that's a very sexy move, but as a person that has trouble with germs, I was like, no, no, no. I don't think there's any sanitation of the pole between dancers.
In good places there are.
Oh,
Good place to
somebody's
start.
out there's like squeak.
Yeah,
squeak.
it literally goes out.
That's my job. In my overalls and jeans. Like,
Clean that pole real quick.
it's ready for you, Miss Nomi.
You should up at the top, slide down with your
With my
your
tongue.
pine saw. Your pine saw is lemony fresh, like.
Oh man. So yeah, he has a great time, and now is Nomi doing this? Is it kind of fuck you to Gina? She knows she's being manipulated.
No,
and
her
she's like,
boss told her she had to. He was like,
"Oh, I think I missed
remember,
that."
yeah, like he's like up kind of behind her, and he was like, "It'll be this, and you're gonna do it."
You're right.
Like she offered you $500. You're gonna
and she
fucking
wasn't
do it.
into it.
Yeah, she wasn't
She's
into
like,
it,
"All
but she
right."
did it, and she was like, you know what, like.
She's like, I'm gonna show you what's what.
That's fine. And she did, and she knew exactly what she was doing, and we go to the next day. Like, she tells her roommate that she's made all this money. She's excited. I think that's when she might buy her Versace dress.
Oh, Versace.
Okay, so the Versace thing is that, yes. Which was actually the other line that I can't say Versace now without thinking Versace in my head.
Yeah.
But that was that was actually Elizabeth Berkley's idea, was for her to mispronounce it, which I think
a
is
good ad-lib.
excellent. I mean, like,
and to be honest, the whole
most
thing was a good ad lib too. It's very strippery. It feels like.
like I think it was sexy. It was. I mean, like,
yeah.
So she goes, she buys that, and then we find out she gets an audition to be in the show Goddess.
Got it.
She's
Now
super
this is the big show.
This is the one that
This
everybody's
is the one
in,
that
Molly
everyone
works
wants.
for, and
This is get the big fucking marquees all over Vegas. What are those big fucking
marquee, I think it was, billboards.
billboards?
She shows up. She is way overdressed, as far as like she's got on way more clothes than any of the other people.
Yeah, this audition. If they're pulling for a close to reality situation, I buy it.
Which apparently they are.
I feel like this is probably close to truth. They're not treated well. They have immense talent, but are just the one dude slayed that one little girl. Like, she was like, I came back with my fixed nose, like you said. And he was like, great, now your ears are fucked up. So come back later. Like, harsh stuff.
Yeah.
I wouldn't make it.
I don't think I could, because my response is to get angry and to get mean.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
We're going right now.
Right, exactly. And so she goes to the back because he insults her from the jump, the guy who's choosing people. He insults her. She goes to the back, and then she comes back out. Nope, not gonna let it phase me. With like tights, a G-string, and like a little tiny top. And she goes out there, and she pretty much kills the audition. She ends up being one of the final 3.
That's right.
Which leads us to this clip, which we're just gonna call Finding Nemo.
Yikes.
I'm into it.
Yikes. Good, babe. So much nakedness. Oh my goodness. I don't know where to look. I cannot avert my gaze.
I think they're an actual couple, though, like in the movie. Like, I love how she's like so bent out of shape about people are being
Hates
like,
it.
I
Yeah,
want
yeah.
to do this, and she's like,
Wow.
that chick sucks.
She's something else.
Did she hop out of the shower?
She sure did. As soon as her friend called her name.
She's totally in love with her.
I'd be like, I'll be out in a minute.
Yeah, right? This bitch's outfit.
Hey, Pollyanna.
Damn, she's not wanting to do shit.
Wait.
Take a look at these tits. What are these, watermelons? This is a stage, babe. It's not a patch.
I could
See?
never be part of that chorus line.
No, unfortunately.
I've seen you before.
Yes.
I've heard that's how those auditions actually go, though.
I bet. It takes an immense amount of talent to do that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. Like, I mean...
No matter what amount of clothes you're wearing. Just, you
Yeah,
know,
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I've always loved dancers. Like, I've always thought it was so impressive. And
I don't have any talent that way, so
Hello, doll.
I admire it all.
I can dance my ass off, and I have
You're very good at
but
dancing.
like I
I have to
that,
be
but not that. I couldn't
fairly
do that.
drunk
I want you
to
to
do any movements.
Or you hear a mandolin and you're like,
What down? Oh man, they have to show their boobs.
I mean, they got
Part
to
of
their
the
boobs in the fucking.
part of the audition.
They kind of puffy.
They are very puffy.
The nipples
And
got
the
this
slit.
weird. Yeah.
Almost like a fisheye.
Very nice.
Ew.
Okay?
Look,
Go to the other
someone that
music
loves
box.
boobs,
Take
stop
one.
it.
Talk about Finding Nemo.
Stop it.
She's so into her. Whoa, Vegas is tough. Gonna have to go to Reno. Yeah, Jesse! I'm into that. Fuck you.
That's it for today.
See how that
That
box is
outfit's amazing.
conveniently blocking her breasts? This guy that runs this club fucking
Cockbag.
sucks.
Yeah.
Hate
The
him.
worst.
Oozing gross. When he says, I'm erect, why aren't you? I just wanted to punch him in his hard dick.
I thought you were going to say heart for a second. I was like, I don't think he has
I'm gonna
one.
punch you right in your heart. So you can feel it. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, sucks. Hard. So let's see. She ends up.
She does
actually,
well in her audition.
She does.
She kind of knocks it out of the park. And I think part of it is her shitty attitude. Even though people give her shit for it, they
Mhm.
kind of love her for it too.
Right.
In the same token
This
that
weird,
Gina's
endearing,
got
like-
her, not fuck you attitude, but I'm the best attitude. And people gravitate towards it.
People be like that.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes they do.
Yeah. So what happens next? She leaves the audition.
She's pissed.
And who does she run into?
Is
He's-
this where he gets fired?
Again, well, he kind of quits because the bellhop with the gold things is like, you have to get back to work, you can't talk to people. And he's like, gets in his face and he's like, fuck you, bro.
Fuck off, homie.
And it was actually a pretty funny exchange.
It was great.
Then he buys her a hamburger. One thing, okay, the whole thing is this movie, like, they keep kind of harping on how much she loves to eat. I get it.
I haven't noticed her love for food until the burger scene.
There's a whole thing about, like, at the beginning, like, she's shoving the French fries in her face.
Oh,
And then, like,
yeah,
when
had a
she
burger then,
and
too.
Molly, when it's established that, they're living together, it's this whole thing about, she's this whole chip thing. With, like, there's constantly, like,
She
and
does
then,
like a chip.
Mhm.
That'll come back later.
and then there's this, they keep kind of going back. Oh, and when she gets the gig, brown rice and vegetables, that, that's what you have to eat. And then she won't adhere to that. She's like, I'm not going to eat brown rice and vegetables.
Good for her,
Like,
though.
yeah.
If she doesn't need to.
No, I mean, like,
she
her
looks
body's
great.
sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that we talk about, I think, in this clip, that I looked online and I couldn't find people address it, and I was like, what? The relationship with her and Molly. Molly is clearly in love with her.
It seems real clear.
It
Now,
seems-
maybe this is some sort of 90s friendship love that we don't remember because we were way younger in the 90s. But it seemed immediately to me that Molly was pining after Nomi.
Yeah, and I don't think that was the
Nomi
intention.
Took advantage of
Mhm.
it. Like, she knew immediately and throughout the experience, just fucking used it to her advantage.
Yes.
Which is kind of her thing, right?
Yeah.
Once she sees a thing and she knows that she can,
Takes
you
it and
know.
runs.
yeah.
Give her an inch.
She's
She's
gonna
gonna
go for
she's
it.
gonna try to run a marathon. Like,
Mhm.
but yeah, I was really super, like, disappointed, and I probably didn't, like, look in the right place. But I mean, I like really
There's
tried.
some fan fiction out there, and if there isn't, guess what?
I'm
You're
gonna
gonna
write
write the
it.
first one.
Look out for us in Literotica. She's hanging out with Bob Fossie, and he
He's
takes
like,
her back to his place, and he tells her
which was
he
kind of a rad place.
Yeah.
It was a huge, like, lofty looking place with lots of space and just kind of a cool fucking pad.
and tells her he's gonna teach her to dance, and he wrote something for her.
Well, he tells her stuff like, you have more talent than I've ever seen in my life.
More natural talent than anybody I've ever seen.
When you dance, you burn.
You remembered the shit out of that line. You could not wait to repeat that. Amazing.
I don't even know what that means. The first thing that popped into my head was, a venereal disease.
That too.
When you dance, you burn.
It's the
Which
penicillin.
you don't want. You don't want that.
Yeah, it's this whole. And so then they dance
So
together.
he teaches her. Oh, and what a dance it is!
What-
What a delight!
Yeah.
It's aggressive, just like she likes it.
Oh yeah.
Lots of gesturing, jerky movements. Yeah, and she's nailing it right away. And they get pretty friendly here.
They do. So let's probably just go into that clip. What do you say?
We should do it. Hey guys.
What's up?
It's the doctor.
And Snowy.
And this is going to be real fun times first, Snowy.
Indeed it is.
What's happened is we had such a great time with Showgirls that it went about 3 hours long.
It was closer to 4 hours.
The original
right?
cut?
The original cut, yeah.
I guess I was thinking about the
Yes.
my first edit.
Yeah, your first edit, yes.
When I suddenly realized the length and immediately texted you,
I was like, oh God,
spaghetti.
what do we do?
So what are we gonna do?
We're gonna do our first ever Real Fun Times intermission.
That's right.
We got a two-parter.
A and B. So this is gonna be the end of part 1.
Mm-hmm.
And next week we're going to go on to part 2.
Talk about the last half of the movie.
That's it. There's so much. We
So
just couldn't fit it all
We-
into one episode.
I was gonna say that's what she said. But
I did set it up. I'll allow it.
thank you.
But yeah, so thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
And please come back to see the end of this episode.
Come and see what we have to say.
If you like the beginning, I tell you what, you're going to love the end.
You're gonna love the back half.
For all you back half people,
Yeah.
stay tuned.
See you next week.
Thank you for listening to Real Fun Times, your favorite movie podcast.
Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Real Fun Times. REELFUNTIMES. Real Fun Times is produced by Drea Age, Rose Age, and Noelle Phelps. The thoughts and opinions expressed herein are solely those of the individual hosts, nobody else's. No one's.
Real Fun Times is not affiliated with or connected to any of the motion pictures, music, or other clips played within this podcast. All movie clips and music included in this podcast are the intellectual property of the respective copyright holders. They're included here for review purposes, and absolutely no infringement is intended.
And lastly, a tip of the hat and a sincere thank you to our friend, Autopsy Summer Camp, for our rad outro music. To hear more of his offerings and collaborations, check him out on Instagram at Autopsy Summer Camp.
That's a guy.
Take your money.
He was in a lot of sitcoms, no?
Uh-huh.
Take your ways.
Or maybe even
We'll talk about it.
Sex in the City?
Stay indoors. I don't want to see any tan lines.
He may have been in
Make
Sex
up
and
your
the
costumes
City.
for your own responsibility.
Oh.
I always say it
C'est
like
la
that
vie.
because the one part in like season 6, when in like she's in Paris and he's like, I had the sex, she has the sex, we all have the sex.
I love that. Sex in the City.
You're smart. How'd you find your guy? I chipped my tooth on a quaalude. It was my dad.
Hell yeah, I've always wanted to do Quaaludes. It's too late, they don't make them anymore, Snowy.
Take it to personnel.
They don't make them anymore.
What kind of information?
It's fucking-
73.
That is a lady.
It's Karen's maid,
Rosa.
Rose, is it
New York, New York.
Rosita?
Rosie?
Nearest family members.
Maybe.
Rosario?
Maybe? Rosario might be
You
right.
tell me. You tell me later.
I will.
I don't have